Yep, Harper Finn is very happy now that his debut EP, Newcomer, is out today. Harper is back in New Zealand to play a few shows in celebration of the release after having moved to New York City. So, what is it about the Big Apple that appeals to young Harper? Let's find out.
Well, I went there last year for 5 days, and when I came back, I wrote 5 songs straight away.
Oh, there you
so
go.
it was just sort of it felt very, very inspiring. I don't know. There's something about how instant the city is. You know, you walk out and you're instantly on the streets of New York City, opposed to somewhere like Los Angeles, or where you sort of you have to drive everywhere. You've got
Right.
it takes a long time to get to places. I guess being a New Zealander, that kind of the sense of being able to walk everywhere and it being there on your doorstep was a real attractive kind of element of it. And yeah, I don't know. A lot of musicians I respect and look up to have all spent time there. It just felt like it's just such a magnet for artistry and for songwriters and anyone who's creative. So it just sort of it pulled me in, it reeled me in, and hasn't let go.
Cool, excellent. Well, I'm glad you're enjoying it. So how long are you in New Zealand for?
I'm here for 3 weeks.
3 weeks. And the reason is, course, because of the EP.
The EP and the tour, a couple shows. Yes.
So let's talk about the EP. It's out on, tomorrow, right?
Out tomorrow, Friday, July 29th.
Yes.
Tomorrow.
Very exciting. What are you going to do on the day? Promo or?
Well, I mean, I often say releases in this day and age are just constantly looking at your phone. It's just replying to messages, resharing this and liking this. And so a lot of the time will just be spent with my head down on my phone. I think I might try catch up with a few friends in the evening and have a celebratory drink of some sorts. But I mean, it always feels like, I almost feel like I just want to go to sleep and sleep for a week, because it's sort of, I'm not someone who loves to party after a big announcement or a big show or something, because it feels so exhausting. There's so much adrenaline that you just end up feeling quite, just staying home and seeing a couple of friends watching a movie. Those kind of things always seem really appealing to me around these times.
Gotcha. Very cool.
Yeah.
So we've been following your career, as it were, for a bit now here at the 13th floor.
Yeah.
So how do you see things have progressed musically from when you started out to where you get to this Newcomer EP?
Well, I mean, I know a lot more people. I spend my time and I spend a lot more of my time in overseas cities. I mean, the influence of living in a different country is definitely, probably the most obvious thing.
Right.
When we first met, Marty, I was still living at home. With my parents, and since then I've moved out, moved countries, met so many different people, worked with so many different people. So it's almost just like I've grown up a little bit. Like this EP as well is very much just a coming of age memoir, in a sense. So yeah, it's just as time has moved on, I guess I've figured out who I am a little bit more. I've figured out what I like and what I don't want to do, and just be a bit more confident and sure of who I am as an artist. I think all those things that before you have them, you don't really understand why you need them or what they'll do. But as time goes on and you feel you get that confidence and you feel a bit more assertive and where you want to go and the things you do and don't want to do, I think that really helps you, represent yourself and your art a lot better.
So the EP, as it is 8 tracks long, so it's almost an LP.
Yeah, and basically, yeah.
And of course, we've heard some of the songs and seen some of the videos already.
Yes.
So how are you looking at it as an entity unto itself, as a collection of where you are up to where you are now? What are you thinking about?
Yeah, it's definitely. I mean, part of it. I mean, the reason it is 8 songs is because I thought it was quite important to collate all the songs that had come out during the pandemic around that time, because it was such a disorientating period of time that I feel like people weren't really. When things came out and what came out kind of got lost in the shuffle a little bit, because there was so many other things to consider. So for myself, I thought it was important to gather all the songs, put them in one place, have them out in this sort of post-pandemic time, and be able to move on from that and sort of be able to close that chapter of the book and have them in a cohesive space where they could all exist. And 10 years from now, I can look back on them and not be reminded of the pandemic, but be reminded of these great songs. And so that was a large part of putting them all together. And then and also just they all felt to me thematically, they felt like the idea of the newcomer was about experiencing things for the first time, being in unfamiliar situations, like falling in love for the first time, or having your heart broken, or getting up in front of a crowd and dancing, and all those, traveling and being in a new city for the first time. All those sort of first experiences where I thought were sort of the songs all had that commonality between them. So, the idea of Newcomer really those songs felt like the Newcomer.
Gotcha. So when you hear these songs in the context of the EP, how do you hear some of the songs differently than when they originally came out, and especially compared to what the newer ones that are on the record?
Absolutely. Like the songs come in waves in terms of what I'm listening to. It's like right now I'm going back listening to Conversations with the Moon. I'm listening to She Said, and then some of the newer songs, because I've listened to them so much, I don't want to listen to for a long time. Right. So it's like the songs always kind of come back and forth into your life, and it's nice to sort of to refresh the old ones with the new ones and sort of make them all feel really brand new again. Because you're right, some of these songs are close to 3 years old, right. But I sort of feel like a good song, or when you put the song in the context of other songs, it can it shows that the song was shown in a different light. It's really exciting. I mean, again, it's just living in a different country where not many people know your music or know who I am.
Right.
To them, it's 8 new songs.
Yes.
Which is cool.
So what is the most recent song that you've written that's on out of the 8 tracks that are here?
Runway.
Runway.
It's the last track on the album, on the EP. Look, I just stumbled there myself.
There you go.
Last track on the EP. It's a song. It was a really quite a difficult song to finish for me, and I've been told in the past by songwriters that the best ones come easy, but I sort of feel like that really just kind of was against that theory, because it was a really tough song to get, but I was really determined to get it done because I believed in it so much. And so that song really, I feel like, is quite a testament to my ability as a songwriter, because I wrote it basically by myself, produced it almost entirely by myself with a little help from a friend of mine. So it was really a labor of love. I'm really proud to have it on there, because there was a moment in time where it wasn't going to be done in time, and
right.
It wasn't going to be on the track. So I really had to fight for that one personally. It was an internal battle, but it's a really, and it's a really fitting last track, because I sort of feel like where it leaves you is a good, there's more to come, and it definitely it gives you a glimpse or a sense of perhaps what's down the line.
Right. So do you have a lot of other stuff written in the can, more to come, or fairly prolific?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I've got, absolutely. I mean, always writing, always got new songs in the back pocket. But I mean, in today's day and age, especially when you're working with labels and all the things that come along with that, music can take a long time to get out. Writing a song a year from its release is considered fresh.
Right.
I'd love to write a song and then a couple of weeks later put it out, but who knows, maybe down the line. But I've got lots of songs that are waiting in the wings, and perhaps once this EP's out and I can move on from it a little bit more.
Gotcha.
The songs will reveal themselves in a different way.
Now, you mentioned that you also have some dates, some tour dates coming up.
Yes.
Some live shows. I've seen you a few times already. So how is that side of things progressing and changing and evolving?
Well, I mean, I've got a guitarist now. I mean, if you were at my show last year at the Sweatshop, you would have seen him. So now we're a 4-piece band. And these are the 4 musicians I used to play with when I was 13, 14 years old. So there's a chemistry there and a camaraderie that is, at least I hope, is quite apparent on stage. And I mean, the live thing, just because I let the band learn the songs how they want to learn them. I'm not there sort of pointing fingers saying, learn it this way, that's wrong, play it like this. Like, I kind of just send them the songs, and then we show up to rehearsal and everyone just plays it in their way. Because I quite like the songs to be, just have a little bit of a different spin to them when you see them live. Because I think whenever I've watched bands perform, I like hearing songs that sound live. That sounds special because you went out and saw them in a room, and that's why it seems like that, opposed to it feeling like, oh, I'm just looking at that artist with their music playing out the speakers. Like, I want it to be, I want people to walk away and go, you can only get that experience when you see it live. Right. You can only hear the songs in that way when you see them live. So, the shows coming up will be, they'll sound different, but in a good way. Like, it'll sound a bit more raw, a bit more rock and roll, so to speak. That's what I'm really looking forward to. Because I don't record with a traditional drums, bass, guitar setup. I'm using synthesizers and programming drums and programming bass. So when you have to adjust and have someone play a live bass on a synth bass part, it just makes the song sound a little bit different, a bit more exciting for a live context. So, yeah, I'm really, really excited for band rehearsal. We've got band rehearsal next week.
Cool. Because let's face it, you do come from a heritage of eccentric and unique live performers. So
Yes.
there is that. So I'm just wondering what you think about yourself and how you present yourself, even more so than the music. Do you think about an image that you're trying to project?
Yeah, definitely think of an image. I mean, I've got a great respect for the role of a front man and how and what their job is and what they do. I've been lucky enough to see the Rolling Stones play and see
Right.
Mick Jagger in the flesh and see the way he commands an audience because before I was a front man or before I was a solo artist, I was in a band playing the keyboards or playing the bass. So I was always had that kind of instrument to hide behind.
Right.
But yeah, after watching someone like Mick Jagger perform and seeing how important and how engaging those shows are, I sort of felt it was really necessary for me to do that. And yeah, it's a tough gig. I mean, there's a lot of all you've got is a microphone, so you got to be doing something
Yep.
to kind of keep people's attention. So yeah, I mean, I've just did a lot of study, watched a lot of Mick Jagger, a lot of Elvis Presley, Michael Jackson. Christine and the Queens is a more contemporary one. But yeah, I just sort of feel like people who move on stage and who can really command the attention were people that I really studied and wanted to emulate because, yeah, it's like I feel like front men with a band is something that isn't as common nowadays.
Right. Yeah.
It's you see a lot of bands, you see a lot of hip hop artists, a lot of solo artists playing with track, but a guy getting up just singing with a band, I think, is something that is actually quite uncommon nowadays, and that's something that I really think is a magical moment when the synergy is right.
Right. Cool. So when the tour is over and you head back to the States in New York, what is your plan?
Yeah. Well, it's to try to play shows in the States,
Right.
to try and make and connect with some people over there. I mean, like I was saying with my EP, there's 8 songs in there that will be considered 8 new songs to anyone I perform over in the States. So I'm really hoping that I can spread my wings a little bit and play some shows over there. I mean, every musician always looks at America as the sort of the great frontier.
Yep.
And it's just such an inspiring place to be. There's so many musicians there, and I went to see a gig at Radio City Hall a few months ago, and it was just so inspiring to see. To be in that venue and to see music fans in America getting out on a Monday night, 6,000 of them singing every word, belting it and loving it and really being there for a musical experience, which I think, it was just a sort of reminder of there are so many audiences out there and so many stages to perform on. And I'm someone who, I love to perform and want to be able to do it as much as possible.
Yep.
Because, as you see, New Zealand is such a small country. I can only do 2 shows here. And so I would love to be able to play more. I think, I'm just someone who wants to be able to play show after show. So, America really is the best place to be able to do that.
Cool. Yeah, well, I mean, at least things are opening up. You are able to go back and forth now, and we've got
Exactly.
quite
That's
a
what
few
I mean.
overseas
Home
acts in these last few weeks, so it's coming back to whatever
Exactly.
normal is going to be. So
I agree. It's nice to be able to feel like home is a flight away, opposed to being a flight in 2 weeks in a hotel, which I did do last year, which was it was tough.
Yeah,
kind of it got me a little bit. Gets it's like PTSD,
right.
when you think about it,
Yeah.
because it's 14 days in a hotel by yourself. But with it all opened up and being able to come back and perform here and try to perform over in the States, it feels like the idea of being a global musician, a musician who can move around and be quite transient is starting to be a thing. If you're lucky enough to be able to do that.
Excellent. Well, this is all very exciting. You got to be looking forward to tomorrow and getting it out there.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, yep. We'll catch you when. Where are you playing off? I'm trying to remember.
The Hollywood.
The Hollywood. That'll be awesome.
Yeah.
Great venue.
Out in Aberdeen. Great venue. Yeah, it's probably one of my favorite venues in Auckland, if not my favorite. So it's going to be a bit of a bucket list item to be able to play there, and then playing Meow Bar in Wellington, which is also one of my favorite venues in New Zealand. So I'm very lucky to be playing in some beautiful venues and play these songs, and it's an exciting time.
Excellent. All righty, well, I'll let you go. Ready to have some fun
Thank you very
tomorrow.
much,
And thank
Marty.
you for spending time with me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, Marty. I'll speak to you again soon.
Okay. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.